point. That's just how humans interact.
No,
Like,
that's because of you. That's your perception. Whatever you allow to be your reality will be your reality.
so
Period.
you believe that there's humans you're going to interact with that will never ever fall upon your bad side. Never ever will you have any type of disagreement with. Never will they
It's
cause you
it's
any
not
type of
it's
trouble.
not about there being difference. It's about how you react and how you move forward with that. If your
And that's
perception is always negative, then it will always be negative. That doesn't mean you can't have disagreements and bad experiences, but if it's to the point where you have to literally put people in such bad categories so where you can't interact with them as human like regular human beings, then that's the problem because that's now changing you and that will affect, well, your children, just being honest.
yeah, no,
Because
that's
I used to be
fine.
the same way. I used to like feel some type of way about white people. Then I realized it's not white people, it's just people, and they just so happen to be
Yeah, no,
doing
I
that.
do agree with these people. I like I said, I tend to speak to people's specifics or sensitivity or I'm saying this wrong. To speak to special sensitivities. Like, no, in general, I just don't like people. In general, I don't interact with anybody. I like to sit in my house, smoke weed, play video games, and work on my projects and make money the way I can make money. I don't like to. I will try to not interact with people as much as possible. I'm probably outstanding at customer service, believe it or not, but I don't like interacting with people. I don't like dealing with people. This chance or this, or as me and Gino kind of talked about with me, it's kind of like the Hulk. I look at myself kind of in this Hulk like sense, or like, no, I can't give people opportunity to allow me to turn into the Hulk. Like I just have to shut it down. I just stop giving that situation energy.
Fuck, that took forever.
Uh,
Welcome.
Thank
Where
you.
have you been?
Trying to join the fucking show.
trying to join.
Yes, I've been trying to join because I have to join with my tablet to get the shit really working.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I understand what you're saying. It just still seems like you kind of remind me of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, you know?
Oh shit.
Yeah, she says I'm more Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh than I am the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, you an Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk is different. He's stuck in a state in which he can't change. You can. And I get it, as a black man, you kind of are Incredible Hulk, but it's like, no, you're fine. You're just angry. You're upset. That's what it sounds like. I know you're like, no, you don't know me, but it just sounds like you have a lot of like
Because you haven't seen the Hulk incidents to compare the situation. That's all. It's like I was just want Gino to go. Gino, now please explain to her all the incidents that are Hulk like.
I don't think I see Eeyore. I get what you're saying. You probably can like, Hulk
Yep.
smash and just grow in a couple of minutes and then all of a sudden you shrink and your clothes are ripped. Sure, whatever. But I don't know. At least the Hulk was a sweet man. He was a
I'm gonna
lovable
hit.
man.
I
What's
am. My lovable way is he also loved people enough to get seclude himself, to go to other planets, to try to go to other countries, to get the fuck away.
Yeah, but his condition, he had a condition. You don't have a
He also loved people
condition
enough to start shit just to keep.
just to keep them what?
Like no, the Hulk, like he would start arguments or start World War fights so that they would have to reassemble the Avengers, so that the Avengers wouldn't go away.
Right.
He would Hulk out just so that the Avengers would have a target. He also fucked up Freddie Prinze Jr. for dating one of his exes or his current girl, something like that.
look the Hulk in general is not a good human being. Okay, let's just get that out the way. Number one, and I say that because primarily he eat people. His character was first brought in, and the things he would do would like eat women and small children and shit. That's not okay. We're just talking about that character.
Yeah, no,
Um,
as I'm trying to tell people, like, no, he's a motherfucker.
Okay, so then now that even changes things because the story that I got of him is clearly wrong, which is typical. But that just means you're a shitty person. And then we're on this. Now we're on the same page again.
But I'm gonna just be conservative for the rest of this show because I feel like y'all need a conservative voice since we really just in the beginning stages. Mr.
You feel
White
like
will be
I'm
Mr.
being
White.
conservative?
It's usually a traditional role. I'm gonna play mediator, but that's life. We are actually
You
already
said,
recording, so
yeah, no,
um,
I'm ready. I mean, did you want to talk? I mean, I really guess we should have brought this up before we went live, but did you want to talk about Kevin Hart or no?
all right, let's do that. Let's do that.
I just feel
Um,
like that'd be the lightest topic. But if you want to get into your other topic, I'm
yeah,
more than
because I
willing to
have
do that.
no idea what the fuck happened with Kevin Hart. So let's start off with that, and we'll roll into some other
Okay,
shit.
so Kevin Hart is currently
Wait,
working
wait,
aggressively. You can look
wait.
this up. He's working aggressively with the FBI because he's being extorted by well, I can't say because that's why the FBI is investigating. But there's a video out right now with having relations allegedly. You can hear him literally smashing all the grotesque sounds, all that stuff. He done cheated on his second wife, who he was cheating on his first wife with, and he got an apology video out. And then I made songs about the apology video, and comedians is roasting him. And he's just pretty much the subject of everybody laughing at him because he's a notorious and habitual infidelity type of cheater.
Yeah.
So I said he should just make $4 billion and do his whole next stand up about his whole life, like about all the cheating scandals, because it's ridiculous. But yeah, he's the topic of town because the man has allegedly can't keep his pants, up.
I agree. I would love to listen to that stand up and him talking about it because that's the
It'd
best
be the funniest
comedy
shit
when
ever.
you're honest. It would be. His ex-wife Tori already like spoke out about it. And I don't know. You'll lose him how you get him. Let's just say that, but just don't get married.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know all of the people that Kevin Hart has dealt with, but I can definitely tell you that Kevin Hart is like the Eminem of the comedy game. It just seems like he goes out to create fuck shit in his life so then he can go and make a comedy series about it. And to me, there's a certain level of respectability that comes with that. And the reason why I say this is because we have had other famous comedians who have done things in their lives and they didn't want to tell nobody about that shit. We still waiting on the fucking story. It's 30 years later. How the fuck did you get in that car? Why was you giving that motherfucker a ride? We didn't
Are you
get
talking
that.
about Eddie Murphy?
So it's Kevin Hart.
Talking about Eddie Murphy?
Huh? I might be talking about Sir Eddie Murphy.
Who was I talking to? I don't know if I was talking to y'all, but because it's like, bruh, can we talk about that quick? Just a quick tangent. You know it's gay, or we suspect it's gay, but we don't really acknowledge like Arsenio Hall, Johnny Gill, Eddie Murphy, Usher, Marcus
So
Houston.
general, like 80%
Hey,
of the entertainment population.
Hey, don't nothing about Marcus Houston. Him and the manager was just fucking all the little boys in B2K.
well, I heard. Trust me, because I used to be obsessed with them, but there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with your
There's nothing
sexuality.
wrong with being a pedophile and fucking little boys and sing for you.
Pause. There's nothing
I
wrong
think it
with
was,
your sexuality. There's nothing wrong with if these men are into other men. So
if your sexuality involves a child of any gender, then something's wrong with your sexuality because your sexuality to me immediately is a pedophile.
well,
It's
that
no
goes
longer
without
gay or straight.
saying. Even though you're saying it out loud, I'm glad that you agree because we
No, I know.
finally
I'm
agree
just
on
saying.
something. Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like, I'm sure you don't support pedophilia because if you do, we'd be having a whole another
No,
topic. We can just go ahead, cut right to me to this conversation.
nope. I have morals and yeah, I have those things.
I like how
Yeah.
you said that. Like, no, I have morals. They're in my closet, buried in the back.
No,
But
no. I cleared out all my skeletons, so
so Miss Gray, do you have anybody that you think is on the suspect? Do you think you suspect their sexuality, or at least it's been rumored about in the black community, and you wish that they gave you an explanation? because they've been caught in the limelight, like Eddie Murphy and the
I don't
transvestite in this
see.
car.
See, I'm different when it comes to sexuality, especially in the Black community. I don't think it's anyone's damn business. Like, whoever you want to be with is who you want to be with. And if you want to keep it a secret, I understand, because then we have conversations like this where it's like, I need an explanation. I don't give a fuck. If you're not fucking me, I don't care. So whoever you want to sleep
Yeah.
with, as long as it's an adult and as long as they are consenting, and as long as you're not kidnapping or hurting, then I could care less.
I see. I'm weird because honestly, I do operate more like a gentleman, so people really don't know most of the shit that I do. But at the same time, I'm also an idiot, and I would love to have press conferences after all of my sexual encounters. I'd love to be able to give an account of what happened, what could have gone better, what I like, dislike, and let it be known and let it be public. And I feel like if everybody gave press conferences, I feel like life would be better if everybody's life was lived in public.
Yeah, if you have to ask her, then you probably didn't do that well. You should probably do that
Because
during. That way you can
I
make
didn't ask
adjustments.
her. I said a press conference. I know that made. Never mind.
I just assume that's who you'd have the conversation with,
Mm.
her.
Nah,
No, a press conference is for the press.
No, duh. But
I didn't.
we're having a ridiculous conversation. So I'm just trying to
You think
figure out.
because you think I wouldn't have a press conference after a session? See, that's the difference. You think it's ridiculous of the concept, and I'm like, no, I'd actually do this shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to
It's
make
just a
it
funny.
normal. I'd
You're
figure the
misperceiving
conference
who
would
I
be
would be
with a
talking to.
woman.
No, I look. Let me explain something to you. If I can't tell, darn, you can just get the fuck out. I'm not. Look, excuse my vulgarity, but I'm about to keep it 1,000 because I've had to explain this to people. I'm not bringing A+ dick to C- pussy. Like it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Not going to give my effort. If I'm 3 strokes in and this shit is garbage, I'm 3 strokes out. Like goodbye. Like
There's so many things I'd like to say,
I'm
but
just not.
we're
I'm
so
just not
close to
wasting time.
Sunday. We're so close to
Why are we? We're
Sunday.
old shit. I'm not gonna waste my damn time. I ain't got the kind of energy no more. I'm not in my 20s. Like fuck that shit. You call me whatever the fuck you want to call me and tell
want
each
to
and every
know
last one of your girlfriends too. What's that?
You know
What'd you say?
what?
I just know why is it that Kevin Hart apologizing is like some out of the ordinary shit? How come that's not just the regular thing that happens because he's being a self-deprecating black man for the entertainment of the entire United States and other people around the world? I don't understand.
Because
Wait, huh?
usually don't apologize unless they've gotten caught. If he didn't get caught, then there's a possibility that he probably wouldn't have apologized.
Would you apologize if you didn't get caught doing some shit?
Would I apologize if I
Let's
got?
just say, let's just say the scenario was you was
I
at
have. It depends. You got to have a conscience to do that. It really depends on your conscience. If you apologize for some shit without getting caught, it's because you actually give a fuck about this shit and you actually can't live with that shit on your conscience and what it could possibly mean to the relationship of you and said person. But if you're like typical selfish, egoistic person, then no, you don't because you're like shit. I got away with it, and then when you get caught, you're sad because now you're facing the reality of the consequences of what the shit you already did.
Basically.
but publicly apologizing? Like, why not just apologize to the party? Like, why you got to go on TV and apologize to
Because some
everybody
people's image is a part of their
unless
brand.
you just
Yeah, yeah. When you're a celebrity, it's like you can't just silently do things. You have to. It's like the public is a part of you, so you have to like.
Because your image is a part of your brand. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of, it's dumb. Some people don't have to do that, and they don't do that, but a large majority of people do have to do that. Plus, he was getting blackmailed, wasn't he? So
He's getting extorted.
yeah,
There's a
so
whole there's a whole video of him and 2 different women that's supposed to be out here. We only got 4 minutes and 47 seconds of it, and that was enough for us to go. Well, damn.
see. I didn't even
what's
watch.
funny to me is I think it's kind of, hear me out. I think it's kind of sweet that he actually cares. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like super rich, famous men in the industry who, if this happened to them, they wouldn't give two shits. Like some of them pride themselves on the
Exactly.
fact that, you know what I mean. They could be with whomever they want, but to him, this is like a big deal because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to lose his wife and he doesn't want to
Well,
ruin his
he's
family.
also, but he's also lived a life to be like that though. Because I mean, like nobody said shit about Brad Pitt. Nobody said shit about Leonardo DiCaprio. But Leonardo DiCaprio's not married to nobody. People will say something about George Clooney now. Some people say something about Derek Jeter now that they're married men. But prior to, when they were sleeping with everybody, nobody gave a fuck. You weren't married. There is something to being married and saying that, hey, I am committed to this one woman and this is my family and this is what my life is about. And then going out there and proving to be a whore.
Well, it's kind of like the norm. It's kind of the norm in our society. It's like a rite of passage. If a nigga's
Well,
not
you could
cheating, something wrong with him. Like it's done.
Background, these niggas rolling since before the camera
have to
started
have a
rolling.
commitment.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I just wanted to let the listening audience know that these two motherfuckers been rolling this hard since before we even start recording. So just letting you know.
Whatever.
But like, no, I agree with you, Miss Gray, and I agree with you as well, Mr. White, specifically because if this was Dave Chappelle and it happened, I'm sure he would say sorry, but it would be like in a joke to us because he would say he would have already dealt with that with his folks. So when it came to whatever the fuck we felt, he would be like, fuck y'all. And that's what I appreciate about Dave Chappelle.
Right. Well, everyone's different.
But I also was gonna say, I think that's a part of some people's image is that they don't give a fuck. And so, if part of your image is that you don't give a fuck, then yeah, you wouldn't acknowledge the public.
So Kevin Hart's image is a more sweet, humble guy.
I don't know if
Yeah, he's a family guy. He wants to build his brand. If you talk about, I want this Hart name to last. If you've ever seen him actually sincerely sit down and continuously talk about what his goals are, it is about him building his brand, his image, his family, being able to be proud of who he was. And so for him to be out here and people to be releasing tapes of him having sex with multiple different women while he's got a pregnant wife who's due any day, and he's already known to have cheated on his children's mother with the person he's married to now, then yeah, he's got a lot to account for.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's
like
I said, the situation is not average, okay, everyday male, he out here cheating. Like it's a little bit more. Huh?
So yeah, he got a lot of shit to work out. A couple of decades of feeling ineligible to women because he was tiny. And now he's Kevin Hart, and it's just
hey, 6'5" man.
Getting thrown.
How do you just get to impose?
I know, right? You showed it.
The short man hatred. I just wanted to make sure we acknowledged that you was just sitting here just like, yeah, fuck short people. You got no reason to live. Go ahead, throw the Randy Newman song on, bro. I feel it.
What he's saying is he's pent up,
trying to help you understand this,
and he's getting all kinds of pussy thrown at him right now. So it's like he can't.
So you think that is a problem of short men? You think short men are more whorish?
He's talking about Kevin Hart's specific situation based off of his stand-up and what he said.
But he said short, but he used short because for being a short man, I'm like, is that
probably uses in his stand-up?
Not a shot. It's not a shot. It's not a shot. Allow me to finish explaining. What I'm saying is that I have a general understanding that women have
he's talking about himself. Here we go.
Lack of affinity for tiny or below average height males.
I'm gonna need you to get over this
program. It's a program. Admit it to yourself, okay? And because it is, then short men have to usually compensate to try to or find other means by which to coerce women into procreating with them because of the fact that women have a slanted perspective on who to procreate with.
Based off of his experience.
Which I was going to say, I'm glad that we got to dive into this topic because that's just really what I wanted to do as soon as he started talking about short men. Because I was like, man, this is interesting to get your perspective. But let's also deal with the initial biases that you are 6'5" man, so you're going to more than likely encounter and talk to women who would like a taller man.
He doesn't always.
I mean,
I was there when he was a shorter male too, and he wasn't talking to women at all. When this nigga started getting tall, is when women started coming into his life. I was there for this. You cannot deny it.
Basing it off of.
There you go.
But he wasn't interested. He wasn't even looking. This nigga was still clean and going to church and Bible study. No. I was there in the short.
He played the role.
Lies.
He wanted
was
it
looking.
all.
I just was not getting played.
He wasn't.
Not
Was he supposed
no,
to
you. What?
It's not the same.
Survival of the fittest.
Bruh, as soon as ninth grade started, you were talking to different women.
Because they were
I
talking
know.
to
I
And you were
was.
him.
taller than me by ninth grade.
Because they were
I
talking
was.
to him.
No, I was not taller than you in ninth grade.
Yes, you were.
We were the same height. Ninth grade,
Look at me, bro.
I was 5'2".
You gotta understand, by ninth grade, I'm only 5'6", man.
I'm telling you, bro, we were some tiny. Well, I was a tiny individual. I remember that, and I remember the vitriol. I remember how mean people were, and I remember the girls who I might have had. It might have been like, she do something, and I'd be like, hey, what's happening, mom? And they'd be like, or they just straight talk about you like a dog. Why I didn't mess with females? Because you had to deal with some of that stuff. As soon as I got tall, none of that happened. None of that happened. Matter of fact, those same women who were super mean turned into uh and they would be like talking madness, foul, all type of stuff, calling you all out your name, motherfuckers, assholes, dick, eat shit, gay ass motherfucker, all that shit. And then you grow a couple inches and they like, hi, my name is Alice, and I go to church every Sunday, and Jesus is my savior. Would you like to have babies with me? That is the experience that I had just in general. And I'm not the only person who's had that type of experience. I know it's not just me.
Maybe
I
it is a
mean,
thing to being tall, but I feel like I've also had some inherited advantages that would make me not have noticed that. So, hmm.
here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm
No,
saying.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm agreeing. Like, oh, okay, this is your experience, and you said you talk to other people this way. So I don't want it to seem like I'm coming from a place of just dissent or adversarialness. And I do want you to elaborate your point further. But what I'm saying is that like because I was in the Navy and being in the military, like that kind of that kind of changed also a different perspective because I also had that same thing that you're talking about where women just like, oh, he gets a check. Oh, like oh, he's in the uniform.
Damn, what
Like
are we
oh,
really
like
talking about?
I have a perspective.
we're talking about how simple women are. That's what we're talking about. But continue to
Here we
elaborate on
go
your
with the
point about
women
tall men.
hate. What the women hate. When I was in ninth grade, I think I was probably 5'7". So I had issues too. I had a lot of choices. However, they were all, you know, basically I agree with y'all. I get what you're going through. I'm just saying that. But see, my issue was the opposite. I my issue was the exact
So
opposite.
so
I didn't
though
have a
it
lot
was
of
called women
choices.
hate, she wanted to low key say, Marcus, you were right. You women are just that simple when it comes to men.
No,
All right,
psych.
let's just clarify
Get
that
your
point.
life. No. What I'm saying is that I also
I
had
know
a
because
disposition
agreement is
also.
death, huh?
I could not find anyone of my height. So it was like I was alone in the world, you know?
There wasn't no basketball team where you was at. Nobody on the basketball team was
Yeah,
taller than
but
five
I was
seven.
I was taller than most
I'm having
of
a
the
hard time believing.
guys. I was taller than most of the guys. So there was
So
slim
out of all of the
pickings.
guys that were in your, oh, okay, there you
I
go.
feel like the majority
Okay.
of the guys were like shorter. So I felt like everybody,
And you
that's
and you
below
wouldn't
me
date
was
those
fine.
guys.
But see, it's different when you're really tiny and you want someone who's really, really big. You,
Huh?
I
I'm
am
confused.
tall and I'm big, so I want someone that matches me. I like to match. I like black men. I like smart people. I like people who have love in their hearts, Mr. White.
All
So
I'm saying is, if that's the case, then that's not where short men are coming from. We're not like, you know what, I just need a girl who tiny like me. No. We see anything that piques our fancy, we want to go after it. That is our
yeah, but
nature
it's
as
it's
men.
similar. It's similar because I had a similar disposition because then it was like whoever was just at least taller, I would you know, or was just black. So it's similar. You're not alone. You just
So you got to a point where nigga, all you had to do was be black, or all you had to do was
no.
be tall.
If it wasn't all you had to do, but there was a sense of like, okay, he's tall at least.
And nothing in you ever said that maybe my requirements should change, or are
No,
these requirements something that you
I was in middle school and high
naturally
school. Like, are
feel?
you kidding me? Like requirements? Yeah. You had to be funny, cool, and have a phone.
Mhm.
Okay, those are the requirements. Like there was no. I was a child for
I,
Christ's sake.
and that's how I ended up in the slacking place because I tried to experiment everything. I was like, well, I wonder if she tastes like orange chicken down there. Well, I wonder if fat girls really
Well,
do use their mouths more, so their head has to be better. Like my brain really tried to conceive and think about every different possible type of girl, and I set out to conquer
Well,
at
that's
skinny and
when
across
you know.
all seven continents. Thank you, baby Jesus. Let's continue.
The point is I got over those things. I got over the fact that I was a giant, okay? And I just loved me. And it benefited me because it gave me a lot of attention.
God,
As an
I love
adult, I'm over it. Like kids are shitty. And I would like for y'all to, come to this place where the grass is greener, the air is clear. One day,
first,
it. Come to what place?
first,
baby steps.
first off, I'd like to get over it. I would love to get over it, but I am traumatized.
One of the tallest niggas I know.
I'm
You still talking
traumatized.
about it?
And here's why I'm traumatized. All right.
Oh my
I'm
god.
traumatized because
Uh,
I got the opportunity to see that people just are not who they say they are. They just acting. So like if I'm tall and you coming at me, there's like you could be coming at me for a number of different reasons. So I have to specifically wait to get to know who the fuck you are as a
are
human
you
being
kidding me?
before
Y'all
I
are
can even
such
consider
sensitive ass males. I am a
just being
woman.
real.
The
Just
moment I
being
put
real.
on more clothes, okay, I see people's true colors.
There you
Y'all
go.
worried about height and shit. At least somebody
There
likes
you
you
go.
for you.
Hey, listen.
I'm less glamorous and there's less of a chance of someone being
Well,
interested in
maybe
me.
if you was less worried about a nigga being tall, more worried about what was out his
See, that's
mouth,
the
you saying what he
difference.
was
I
after.
don't care. I don't care. Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at this dumbass.
Oh,
Okay.
Both of
oh.
those
Ain't
things
shit
make
funny.
sense.
I'm trying to pull y'all over to y'all both in the motherfucking sunken place. That's what the problem is. Y'all still hurt. Get over it. Get over it. As an adult, these things aren't a problem for me. I see
Just
people's
listen.
character, but I've
See,
dealt with the
hurt.
same
For
things.
real? And how long have you been married? And how happy are you with your family?
Who says I'm even interested in marriage?
So my point is, so you plan on being asexual, or are you not seeking to be with any man, or you enjoy dating? Like, what is your ideal happiness?
Doing whatever makes me happy. That's my ideal of happiness.
That sounds like some 20-something-year-old answer. I'm in my 30s, so I need like that shit.
No,
But
you are
good for you.
programmed, so you think that you're supposed to have a family and stuff. Plus, you're religious. I, I will be with whoever I want when I want, how I want. That's what makes me happy. And if I decide to commit to somebody, then I will. That doesn't necessarily mean marriage. That just means I'll dedicate a large part of my time with them. But wait,
So,
what
but
was
you're
your
still
question?
seeking a part of you to be happy, is what I'm saying. My point is that generally, people use marriage as a point of being a point of finality, if somebody is permanently found the person that they're looking for. And my
Right.
point is, unless you're asexual, which is not a bad thing to be, you're still seeking someone. You're still seeking a partner. You're still seeking something. You're still engaging in seeking interaction with other people.
Yeah. I don't necessarily seek it.
So
It kind of comes. I don't
you
seek.
hope to be sought.
No,
Okay.
no,
So
it's not that big of a
you
deal.
don't hope to be sought and you don't seek it. So it just happens. There's a penis. Let's take it.
Neither. I'm.
I don't. I'm just trying to understand how this works. Then
See, you wouldn't. Your brain's not on this kind of
All I
wavelength.
heard,
You need
was soft.
conditioning.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
He's just trying to find different ways to be an asshole. Basically, that's what the topic of this discussion is.
how am I trying to find different ways of being an asshole when I'm asking you, how do
You should
you
write a
define
book.
Okay, so
yourself as happy? How do
now
you
that
define yourself as happy when you're
obviously
still out here seeking interaction from other people?
I'm gonna just let you answer that because you totally just created a reality of me that's not a reality. So
now that this is
So
broken
what is the
down
reality then?
nondescript actual conversation. Welcome everybody to the Eden Podcast. My name is Lewis Green. Oh man, I am joined here as always with my lovely co-hosts, both of them, Mr. White and Ms. Gray. Please introduce yourselves and say hello to the people.
Hi.
Hello, people.
So today we're going to be discussing a number of different topics. But first, I really, because this is such a lovely country, we're going through so many great things right now, and I just love when the petty raises to levels that are ridiculously unimaginable. You wouldn't think so. So anyway, this thing happens recently where Donald Trump is trying to enact or retract DACA, which is going to um, take away the protection for dreamers in this country, because everybody knows that there's immigration issue, quote unquote, that which is why we're building a wall. But the people who have already been here, like children of immigrants, not just Mexicans, but anyone at all, who immigrates to this country, who may have brought their children with them when they immigrated illegally, that they may be here, they may have lived their lives as Americans, because I didn't have no choice whether or not they were brought here. And now that they're adults, Donald Trump is like trying to work with Democrats to try to, take care of these people, and his fan base is burning his hats because he's trying to work with the Democrats. They are literally burning the Make America Great Again hats. Like, I don't, what the, is that silly to anybody but me? I don't like it. That's completely absurd in so many ways.
Well, this whole thing. I'm not
You
gonna
you
say.
you mean to tell
I'm
me
not gonna.
white people doing silly shit out of hate is supposed to be surprise me or make me feel some type of way?
Not
You
white
said what?
people.
I
Oh,
said white people doing some silly shit out of hate is supposed to surprise me or make me feel some type of way. No, definitely not in 2017. I'm desensitized to that type of shit. White people do silly shit out of hate and then just claim anything after. Well, Jesus told me. You're like, that's yep. That's crazy ass gonna believe and get 100,000
concept
extra
of
people behind him because he said it.
Christianity. I agree, just not with the white people part. I just think people in this presidency in general. So it doesn't surprise me. It's not, I don't
No,
ask
it's not
why.
exclusive to white people, but they honed it, created it. They perfected it.
I will give them that shit. That they perfected that shit. Oh my god, they are the purveyors. I mean, you talk about a motherfucker that went God mode on some shit.
Yeah.
Cruelty and ignorance. They was like, man, pioneers. Talk about the
Let's
pioneers of
let's
some shit.
let's
We get
burn a
all the
hat.
fake,
Let's burn a hat
but
that
anyway,
says "Make America Great Again." Well, I
I'm
challenge
saying
people to say America was great in the first place, but then to say "Make America Great Again" and you believe that it was great once and you want it to be great again.
There's so many levels of
I don't.
delusion.
I'm saying like the symbolism alone is priceless. Priceless. Because to me, this lets you know that the people who are actively shaping the foundation and the future of the country are less intelligent than the basketball fans that were burning the jersey of Isaiah Thomas because he was traded to a different team. He didn't even have a choice in the matter, but they was burning his jersey because he was traded.
Those the same people. First of all, those the same people.
I was just about to say
That's
that.
Boston.
That
Those
is
the same racist white people.
just say that.
Secondly,
And I don't even know sports, and I agree.
secondly, symbolism to me is just deep, as you would say. It's white people's hate was gonna burn America again because that's just how much they hate anybody other than them.
Yeah, I think it's
Is it just
personal.
white folks? Is it just the white? I mean, because I,
No,
I'm
no, no, no. I believe at this point, everybody hates everybody, based on how we've all treated each other. Um, and we've become a very egoistic society. Teaching people the ideas of altruism and to even live in an altruistic way is seemingly more impossible because everybody's living a more me, I, self type of life.
narcissism is at an all-time high.
That's what they need to report on the news. I
They
listen
ain't
to
got to
that.
do that shit. The narcissists do it themselves. Look at Kanye West.
Look at Instagram.
Don't you guys both have social media?
I'm narcissistic. I don't give a fuck. That's how I'm
I
able to
have a
have this
Twitter.
conversation.
Okay.
I
I'm
recognize the evils
glad you
within
realize
myself
it.
to release them so that I can be a better person.
Are you doing that too, Mr. White?
Doing what? Hey, hold on. All I heard somebody say, wait, hold on. See, we gonna get the real. We gonna get to the
He got real
real
quiet.
nitty
He's
gritty
like,
of
I
this
ain't
one.
helping nobody. I'm in my shit, and that's it. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it. I appreciate that, though. You know, as long as you
Mm.
know that you ain't shit and you're okay with
I ain't shit.
it. You're okay
I
with your disposition of being an asshole,
Oh,
and you're not.
okay.
You're okay
All
with it,
right.
right?
Hey, hey.
I feel like
I'm over
deep down
here.
inside you are
I'm over
self-aware.
here. I am over here biting my tongue because I'm like the words that I could say is so wrong that I'm not.
Don't be
I'm
wrong.
just,
Be right.
I, well,
which is why I'm trying to move forward. But I'm laughing because you're being
well,
extremely funny.
I'm glad that at least we were able to get to a different point. Because one of the things I wanted to address over the weekend, significant riots, and it's not like this is some new shit. This is not like this is the newest, or like this is some brand new shit. People been rioting about police getting off for a minute. Okay, this was a kid who had a knife in his hand, was basically just trying to commit suicide by a cop, and they gave him what he wanted. But they didn't have to do that shit. If it was a white man or anything like that, they would have walked them down. So the people in Georgia are rioting, and this is no surprise. But these riots are getting increasingly more violent. So I guess the question in that situation would be, where do we see this violence, these rioting, these protests, and as the people get more impatient, more angry, where do we really see this going? Because some people say it's martial law, some people say it's just there's going to be uh, some shit that happens overseas before we get the opportunity to do it. Where do we see this social unrest leading?
I don't know. If I know one thing, the other party's gonna play their part, if you know what I mean. If they see it getting any worse.
Now,
If
I
that
don't know what you mean. I want you to elaborate.
I think this is kind of something you said, and it just made me think about it. Like, if they know that it's becoming more violent, then I know the government and police will probably be a little bit more, you know, they'll bulk up as opposed to there being some sort of resolve. It'll just become more violent, maybe. I don't like to think about it, to be honest with you. It's just really sad, and it's repetitive, it's redundant, and mm,
No, the steak
uh,
doesn't taste juicy. No, the Matrix is telling my mind this is tasty. But you know what? Ignorance is bliss. I can understand that.
hey, fuck you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this shit is hard as a hard pill to swallow. Okay.
That's why you swallowed the blue one, is what he's telling you. So, anyways,
Fuck both of you. I'm not ignorant. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of hearing about it. If I'm
who
not gonna
said
say,
you were ignorant?
he just said
We
ignorance is
acknowledge that
bliss.
you have the intelligence and you comprehended the fact that you didn't want to deal with it and took the blue pill.
He said ignorance is bliss. If he didn't feel that way about me, he
What
wouldn't
I'm
have said it.
saying is that if you had told us the truth from the jump, we'd have told you to shove that red pill right up your ass.
Who, me? First of all, we all stuck up in this bitch, okay? So there's no red or blue pill choice. Point is, it's a hard pill to swallow. What do you
I'm
have to say about
hurt.
it, Mr. White? Since you have so much to say about everything.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's a situation where we just gonna have to shoot these motherfucking punk. Nah, for real, I don't know what's gonna happen. To be quite honest, I don't believe that martial law is gonna happen. I've had conversations with people about this before. That I just don't think martial law is something that can really evolve and into the level that it would have to happen, it would be it would seemingly either have to start World War or be one of the most fucked up historic acts I've ever seen involving other nations. Like, because we'd have to use their type of manpower to implement it on this many people across this many states.
Okay, so I got a question. I just need to know because I think I've heard you say that before. So give me a practical idea of what that would look like. Are you talking like maybe like some foreign nation, say like Russia, would have to send troops and occupy territory in America or something?
Yeah, without the UK getting involved though. See, the only way
You said
I would
without the what?
actually I wouldn't believe it would without the UK getting involved. So I would honestly
Oh, you
believe
know that
that it
switching
would have to
point
be
trying
the
to do that.
UK. I
You think it has
understand
to
me.
be UK?
It would have to be England. It would have to be more specifically England and their army and their support and a coalition including
Well,
England. It would have to be a coalition including other countries to avoid world war, is what I'm saying.
uh, because if Russia, like
Like
let's say if it
if
was
Russia
just
did it alone, people are going to think that there's a conspiracy. People are going to look at Trump and you can have other countries act independently, especially
so
when you're going
right
to
now.
have politicians and you're going to have a civil unrest. You're going to have a civil unrest in the country that won't be
Like that's
suppressed.
what we see. Oh, so what you're saying is because what I'm saying is that that's kind of what's happening right now, in the sense that but the only thing we don't have is Russian
But we're
forces
still a but we're
occupying the
still a
street.
sovereign nation. We're still a sovereign nation, and
Yeah.
we still have all these actors or our independent agencies allegedly acting on our behalf. It'd be different, like you said, if it becomes then a military state because the people are so at unrest. And that's what I'm saying. Like then you have other countries a part of NATO that would act and be involved, or at least have to look. And I can't see England and the rest of NATO sitting back quietly and just allowing Russia to take over the U.S. because that pretty much gives them game over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, like yeah, that's game over. That's like okay, well, what are we playing for? Everybody
Yeah.
bows down to Russia now.
Yeah. I can see that because definitely a number of different nations who probably wouldn't want that to happen. So what you're
That's why I'm like,
basically
this
saying
is
is that
this
like
is
the
a lot
advantage.
bigger than what people would see if you look at it on a scale.
Mm,
What are you gonna say?
if they establish some sort of foreign foreign military uh presence in the Americas and it's not a mixed effort, like everybody is sending troops, then it's gonna be World War III.
Yeah, absolutely,
I agree with that.
absolutely.
I agree with that. And my question is, do you think that this president will think hard enough before he issues an order similar to that?
No, but I do think that there are enough agencies still intact to dissent.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I mean,
I do not that I have much faith in the government, but I do think that there's enough people that don't want world destruction.
I think you're probably right, but I think this happens a whole lot easier or a whole lot simpler
No,
than people.
I agree with your sentiment, and I understand your sentiment, and I do understand the danger of it. I don't think most people do understand the danger of having Trump in office and his ability to do such things as you mentioned. But I also believe that the Secretary of Defense is competent. Even though he's conservative, I do believe in his abilities in Mad Dog. Um, I also believe in the Chief of Staff. Um,
So
I
you
believe in
believe
certain
we
people
would have a civil war before we had a world war, another world war. We would have a true civil war. We would have another world war.
I don't know if we could have a true civil war, but it could happen. Yeah, I don't know if we could have a true civil war anymore. but it could happen. I don't know how I would. I don't know how that would. I have no idea even how to fathom that cracking off. So I can't give you a definite answer which I think would happen first because I don't even see a civil war. So I guess in that sense, I said no, I don't because I don't even see how it happens. But I could just
I
be
mean, because
foolish and don't.
people are already. I mean, the reason why I would even say like because the civil war is because half of the stuff we're experiencing is not just the cops versus the people. The cops versus the peoples is
But
really some new stuff in the sense that we're talking about all the people. This
but see,
is usually just black people.
Civil War involves states politics, and I don't think people understand that. In order for you to have a true civil war, you got to have states. If we have okay, let's have World War II, and we want to redefine civil war as just the people have gone to war against each other. Then the sides are just ideologies, and nobody's out here wearing their colors. So what you're gonna have is minorities just being brutalized because one side is just going there's just gonna be a racist element to it. Then you're gonna have some white people suffering the same fate, but not as many. Um, and you're not gonna have a truly defined war. You're just gonna have days of civil unrest, which leads you to the point of military, which they'd have to implement martial law if everybody's at war, but everybody's under domestic terror. And then if they issue martial law and they have to implement it, then you got to go get every single fucking so you don't have the manpower for that. Then you got to go now. You got to get the armies to come in and help implement martial law, and that's what I'm saying. Where you get the potential war because I'm like Russia can just come in here, and Russians are now occupying American streets.
Well, I mean, and I think I thought, especially in that scenario that I gave you, I wanted to make it as kind of a blanketing, easy process as you can make it as for our listeners to kind of understand why there might be some uh, hangups in getting all this stuff popping. But in reality, there's two things, especially if we're talking about civil war, right? If there was a civil war, I think that people are kind of confused as to what a civil war would look like. Um, Specifically because it would be a state to state thing. You know what I mean? Because you would have, I mean, even when the this past election happened in these United States, there was already talk of the uh, California seceding from the United States. If they did that, there would be a number of different countries who would, or at least states that would feel empowered and emboldened to be able to take the same stand. Where there would be other states that would specifically want to reap vengeance upon people who would ever betray the United States. And that to me is all you would really need. You already have the Senate, the GOP, you got the Democrats. There's a number of people who are no longer on the same side they thought they were. Some people on a moral side, some people are on a principle side. You know, other people are on a fake platform of bullshit and fake news. You know, it's just this everybody who's picking a side, and as people pick and choose these sides, I feel like we are inevitably falling towards a type of civil war. Um, and then in reality, to me, again, without going into a bunch of doomsday scenarios, because I don't believe this is really a doomsday scenario as much as we need to be prepared to be able to look into the future, to be able to project for ourselves what it is we may experience so we can begin to prepare. You know what I mean? Uh, and what I mean by prepare is not go get like tinfoil hats and shit, but I mean like, look, if you see that there may be some significant economic unrest, then you need to start saving your fucking money. You know what I mean? If you start seeing that, people are beginning to put themselves in a position where they're acting fearful, maybe you need to get some more protection for your family. It's just one of those things that I feel like needs to be discussed openly in that sense. But another thing that I think is fairly obvious is that they don't need to really bring in the military because I think that'd be difficult. What I would see happening is a number of different states who are experiencing fear, who have the same exact type of mindset that are causing black people to be killed in the streets in the hundreds every other day. Okay, to say, well, we are going to increase our military spending and then arm our police force to allow us to have a significant police state in our state, and then other states then shunning and saying, "Oh, y'all shouldn't be doing that." And that to me would initiate a type of civil war to begin with. You know what I mean? That in some way we are moving towards a place where the people that are in the place of governance do not agree. and they don't agree significantly. And then they are influencing the people to take actions that are not intelligent. So, when people are just doing things because you're not thinking and you just kind of following what somebody else says that you should be doing, or you're looking at a glorious past and you're saying, well, this is how they did it, so this is how we should do it, and not actually thinking about what it is you want to accomplish, whether it is you are marching for your fascist ancestry or you're sick and tired of fascism and you want to go, punch Nazis in the face. There's a significant sickness in it all to me. You know what I mean? It's just whether or not to me, it's kind of an inevitability. I'll say it like that. It's an inevitability that there are going to be some destabilization in the United States in the future, but I don't believe it's going to look the same way everybody may assume it's going to look. Does that make sense? I did a lot of talking.
Yeah, it makes sense. You explain your platform of why you think there's going to be some instability or destability in the United States.
Steve Z's coming off of Miss Gray's icon here.
What?
Since you're asleep with that blue pill.
Your mama. Please. What is his name? If he came to y'all right now, y'all would not be about that life. Y'all think y'all would. If y'all can't get over your hangups of how women address you, you definitely wouldn't be able to. You probably take that pill and stupidly you regret it right after when you see how harsh that life is. Because I'm tell you right now, if he came to me, I'd be like, I'm fine. Because as a human being, I'm wired a very specific way. And at least I could find happiness and satisfaction in this world. I don't want to be jumping around in no post-apocalyptic clothes, dancing to drums and shit, and the sky's gray. I'm not interested. Okay. So yeah, I'll take the pill that keeps me in the matrix.
So I just want to make sure I am clear.
What?
So what you're saying is that when the shit goes down.
Nope. Stop right there.
Shit,
No, I'm not. Nope. Stop. Because y'all love
when
to
the
add
shit
extra.
goes down.
What you saying is you hate men and you unhappy. That's what y'all love to add extra.
No.
Yes.
No. Just let me finish the question, then you'll have a chance to answer. So wait.
Go ahead, Kanye.
What I'm asking is that when the shit goes down, because it's going down, and the thing that people think is gonna happen is you're gonna look at one side and it's gonna be all white folks, and the other side is just gonna be all people of color, and that's not gonna be it. You're gonna have a bunch of motherfuckers on one side. Some of them look like you, most of them don't. And on the other side, it's gonna be a bunch of other motherfuckers. Some of them look like you, some of them don't. Okay, and then one side is gonna be getting their ass kicked up. And the other side is going to be like, so you can join them or you can be in safety and join us under threat of, you could be over there with drums and shit. And you're going to be like,
I'm gonna grab my Nigerian passport and I'm gonna come back when the shit's over. That's what I'm gonna do. Y'all mad because you can't.
No, man, this is what I'm saying. You think
that's
what
my
if
answer.
it's there? What if it's in Nigeria?
Yeah,
what if you get there?
This is where Miss Gray knows very little about Mr. White. Mr. White is then ready to turn into Hulk. You understand? Some people are relative chance for civil unrest. It'd be fine. Just pick off everything lighter than myself. It's moving. Bio.
Are you okay?
I'm going after all the pale skins. I'm just playing. This is all.
Are you smoking right now?
No, I was.
I knew it. That's fine. I'll be the sober one. If that happens, like I said, I'll be back in the motherland. I'll be back. Yeah. It's already, and by the way, it's already happened over there. It happened a long time ago. We had our own genocide. I mean, our own genocide a long time ago.
Long time ago. Continent of Africa is still highly destabilized.
I didn't say it wasn't destabilized. I just said we had our own genocide a long time ago. Listen to the words. I know it's hard for men to hear women speak. It's just something that's just not, you don't allow to be wired inside of you all.
It's genetic. It's some it's conditioning. You know, we watch
It is.
TV.
It
TV
is
says women no speak. We say yes.
exactly. And I know it's not really hard. You just decide to not do it. But when I speak, I'm actually saying something, and I don't. And y'all know well, I do not like to repeat myself. So if you don't get it, then I'm fuck it. But yeah, I'll be back home. Good luck, y'all.
What happens if you get there and the shit's there
Nah, you can't
for
add
you?
shit. You just
I'm
want me
just
to
asking you
fight
a
the good
question.
fight. No, you can't add. That's my answer. You can't keep adding shit. What
Bro, you
if
cannot get her
while
out.
you on while you on the plane it explode? Like, stop.
She wakes
Stop.
up in a new matrix from the matrix, bro. She'll never get out of it, bro.
That's fine. Like I said, I don't want to leave. Okay. I know how I can operate in this world. We all do. Yeah, I don't know how it is over there. Take the pill and be pissed. Wish you can go to Disneyland, but you fucking can't. Ain't no sunshine. Fuck out of here. Y'all
Nah,
ain't about
son.
that
Mr.
life.
Green
Y'all
is gonna
wish
be in
y'all
the
was.
green. Mr. Green is gonna be in the green. Tell
Yeah,
me I
but
ain't
what
about
I'm
that
what
life.
I'm saying, what y'all will never admit, and this is a fact, and this is reality. You have no clue what it's really like because you spent your whole life in it. Is what I'm saying.
That doesn't mean that I have to be afraid of it. Doesn't mean that I'm not ready
No, no
for it.
one said anything about being afraid. Stop adding shit.
I'm just
What I'm
saying,
saying is what I'm saying.
regardless of what it's really like, there's some people, and I gave this analogy the other day talking about motherfuckers. There's some people who ain't never swam before that'll fall in water and think they're gonna die and never try to swim again. There's other
That's
motherfuckers
not
that'll fall
me.
in
I
water.
was gonna take some
The
swimming
other
classes, but I'm
motherfuckers will
going
fall in
on
water,
vacation. What are you
almost die,
talking
but
about,
realize,
stupid?
damn, I can really spit. This water is nice and wet. This is my shit. So just because you haven't experienced something doesn't mean that when you experience it, because to me, the reality is it's really a lesser of two evils process, especially if you have a goal. You know what I mean? It'd be different if it was just like this shit gonna happen and then like what the fuck we just gonna be subject to everything that's happening. Again, in my perspective, is that the reason why I even bring this up is not so that we can be like, oh shit is just going terrible. You know what I mean? But really it's to dive into the process of okay, cool. If this does happen, are we considering what this really means for us? Are we just going about our lives like shit ain't changing? Like there's not a difference in society at this point. You know what I mean? And if we are doing that, when the shit hits the fan, are we just gonna have to deal with it like, oh well, I got to get the fuck out now, or is it, you know what I mean? Like we're not really thinking of it, you know, or at least I feel that way.
If we can't come together on the simplest of things, especially as Black people, then I don't. It's not that I don't have hope. It's just that
No, no, I thought you ain't see color and all that shit you was saying, and how could I just
never
say
said I
this and
didn't.
that?
Oh my God. I literally, when I speak, I think this is what your problem is. You've probably had great experiences with women. It's just when it comes out, it's like you're hearing completely different. Where you have some extreme selective hearing. I never said shit about I don't see color. I just say when I do deal with people and I know that people have the tendency to be ain't shit, I don't let it change me. That's the difference. I told Mr. Green all the time, I don't like people, but I'm good with people. I'm a people person, but it's not gonna change me. I'm not gonna be an angry woman, angry Black woman hating men like you're an angry Black man hating women and white people. I used to be like that, and I realized that it's just not. That's not the reality. That's a bullshit. It's a bullshit excuse I made for myself because I didn't want to do it with my own shit. That's what I was saying, and that's what you're doing.
That's how you feel?
That's facts.
Oh,
That's
that's that.
reality.
Oh,
You are what you perceive. If
huh?
people ain't shit, then you ain't shit too. And I agree. I cannot be shit either. But I don't want to deal with other people's not shitness.
So I
Anyhow,
deal with it.
I'm gonna be in Niger chilling on the beach. Y'all fight the good fight. I'm being honest. At least I'm being honest.
I feel you. Look,
Lord.
look here. I'm not gonna be. I'm probably not gonna be fighting shit. All right. Just as far as physically fighting nobody, I don't plan on doing that shit. However, if I have to fight a motherfucker, I
Okay.
will. If I have to fight a motherfucker,
Duh.
here
If
comes
someone comes to you at a bar, you gonna put
I
up your
say,
hand.
I'm gonna have to whip somebody's ass. I'm not gonna be out here trying to kill people just because I feel like everybody's my enemy. You know, I am going to take advantage of the chaos. If
I'm
anything
going
else,
straight
I'm gonna
purge.
take advantage of the chaos.
This guy, I can't.
I'm telling you.
That's another reason I'm gonna leave this country. I don't want to be nowhere near you. Yeah,
You
because
motherfucker
in this
right.
bitch talking
Yep.
all this shit.
That's what's great.
You
Oh,
could
you
get
didn't get the
look.
memo? For the
You could
next
get it too,
24
homie.
hours, everything close to me is getting hit immediately.
You could get
Like,
it too. Although I'll be gone by then, and you're on the other side of the country. You
oh,
could get it
shit.
too. Shit. My daddy got a gun somewhere in here.
That's cool.
All right.
I was in the
In the
Navy. I'll
event,
travel across the ocean on ship. Keep all my shit with me. Come off with German Shepherd dogs and everything. I want them all done. I want to catch them all. Me and Boko Haram is going crazy in motherfucking Africa. Linking up
You
with
gonna
them
come and find me, you psycho?
niggas.
Good luck.
Hey, I'm just saying.
It's deep over here. I gotta say, I really actually have family.
Hey, Boko
Like,
Haram is thick over there though. They gonna ham you.
yeah, but that's north mostly.
Hey,
speaking
money
of
make
Boko
niggas move
Haram,
anywhere.
and then transitioning further into our podcast and our topics of conversation, um, I think especially what we wanted to talk about today. I wanted to discuss Black leadership
I, I,
because
I knew you was going.
after a conversation I had earlier this week, it seems as though we are in a much quote unquote progressive time, much more progressive time, our understanding and definition of leadership amongst Black people is not cohesive. Uh, and so my question is, what is Black leadership? Number one, and then two, do we really have Black leadership?
Miss Gray, take the floor.
I don't want to. Let's let the men go first. Remember, the women are second.
No, ladies first, please.
I like the first sentiment because that seems to be a reality of y'all. So
No,
I'll
You
just
said what?
I would love to value your opinion and hear your words.
now you like to demean and break them down, and I'm not
No,
Oh,
giving you the
there's
opportunity. I
no
would like
hate, no hate here. There's no hate here.
just
no,
We all love.
haters, just haters.
No, we all
Okay,
love. Y'all love. I haven't
wow.
degraded or demeaned anybody today. I believe. I think I've
I
been
you
pretty
mean,
good
yeah.
at that.
you laughed. That is just
That's
his
not
words.
degradation. No,
You laughed
no,
loud. That shit
no.
was in the
I was
stomach.
laughing with you. I was
That was
like,
a
ha
deep
ha,
laugh.
we're all happy.
It was like a Santa Claus laugh. I remember, and I'll never
No,
forget.
seriously.
Every time there's a full
Black
moon.
leadership. Let's see. You're leading this conversation. I lead myself out of a rage whenever Mr. White speaks. There, I give you two examples.
So do we actually have
Miss Gray,
that?
can you name Black leaders or people you would say is a leader right now in Black society or culture?
Let me get my list. Um, what's that one guy's name? I can. I just forget their names. Didn't do my homework. The only issue with them is that, well, I don't know if this happened with, during the civil rights movement, but I know that they beef with each other a lot and it kind of like defeats the message. What is his name? Dr. Polite, I guess, is one of them. But then a lot of people want to call him, I'm not going to say the negative things, but they don't consider him genuine. But I still feel that his education and his message is necessary. So I do think there are Black leaders. I just don't think they're as much as they are on the forefront as they should be. Or Dr. Umar, um, I really like him, but I don't think a lot of people really even know them as much as they really should. So it's not, they're Black leaders, but it's not as they're not as popular as they should be, I feel. And a lot of people really don't know who they are. So yeah, we do have Black leaders. I just don't think we have enough. I don't think we have enough Black people supporting them.
I think Ms. Gray's last statement is the most powerful one because I think it really sums
Sorry,
up.
Black support. That was interesting.
You were saying something nice about me, Mr. Green. I mean, Mr. White. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm cool. You just ruined the moment. It made me realize what I was doing.
See,
Nah,
you have no control, no self control. It's always outward influences.
nah,
Like I just
seriously.
did that to make you stop talking.
No, seriously. No, I was saying your last thing, it was the most powerful. I think we don't have enough Black leaders. Just from talking to Mr. Green earlier in the week, I know that we have a consensus on Dr. Umar being a Black leader. I've named people like Sean King, um, people like Jesse Williams, people like Angela Rye. Um, it's a lot of Black leaders out here, but I think the thing that we don't have is enough people supporting them. But there's a lot of Black people out here leading the charge. Like I said, Sean King has found most of the people that were actually attacking Black people in Charlottesville, and people who were actually victims of hate crime that the police weren't going after. They weren't spending their effort and time. Man, this dude's out here finding them in record time, like he's some type of FBI source, and this dude's just a journalist. So, like I say, it's Black leaders out here, but like she said, it ain't enough people following them. You know, it's that blue pill disease. Mm.
I mean, the hard part about, I guess, this conversation is that we're talking about uh, Black leaders, but are we just talking about leaders who happen to be Black? Are we talking about
Nah,
a further? Because again, we talk about your boy as a journalist, Sean King, and he's a journalist. He's a Black guy. You know what I mean? And he's standing up for injustice. You know what I'm saying? He's at least using his journalistic abilities to dive into issues of the common man, uh, Black and otherwise, right? Um,
but
so the
specifically Black,
question is,
but mainly and
say what?
specifically Black.
Right, right. In that sense, is it just the people who advocate for Black people, or in order for us to have true Black leaders, do we have to have a true Black agenda?
No, I think you have to acknowledge the defenders as leaders when there's nobody else standing up, especially in wake of there not being an agenda and us being under attack. Just because there's no game plan doesn't mean we're not under attack. Doesn't mean we're not at war. Doesn't mean there aren't people leading the defense.
Oh, and that's right. I believe you. I definitely believe that. Um,
So,
but if
so
we
that's
are
why
at
I'm
war,
like, well, go ahead.
if we are,
Because
huh?
I no, I just wanted. Well, I'll say this much, and then I'll let you speak. I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that when you said, "Or do we just have leading blacks?" And that's a concept that I first read from Dr. Cornel West, who is somebody else that I would consider a black leader, even in his age today. Um, like I say, whether you agree with his views or not, he's been pretty genuine and pretty steadfast to where to what he sees and what he believes. And so, for that much, I think he's pretty deep. But go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say, you know, if we are, then like you said, we're in a war because I think in a lot of ways, again, this is not a scare tactic. I just think that there's a lot of things that are happening here in the world we live in that the common man chooses to deny a lot of ways. Um, that we are living in a sort of warlike time. You know what I mean? The conditions are right for that type of process, just because everybody has that an emotional state. Um, and in that sense, if we are at war as a black community, we've been at war for a very long time, and we're kind of destabilized. You know what I mean? We're all spread about, but the enemy, and usually, and this is the thing that's really crazy with me. Usually, the enemy is kind of unified together on their own, but right now they kind of split up. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the enemy of people saying, "Okay, cool, we want to hoard all the power for ourselves and then marginalize these people." You know what I'm saying? Um, that they don't seem to be in agreement to themselves. So, is there any way? I mean, I think a lot of people make, and I believe this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, or if you can tell me if you disagree. But I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for anybody. Okay, I not in this election. Did not vote. Was not. I'm voting with my dollars for the things I vote in other things on a regular basis. This was the only thing I didn't vote for. And because I didn't vote, I just usually remind myself that I don't have a say in what happens. But as observing it, I just feel like black people in a better position to be able to see themselves. So maybe we can like have like a little rallying cry at the beginning of this long ass heavyweight bout. We be getting our ass kicked for the last 6 to 7 rounds. You know what I mean? And now these motherfuckers are stumbling a little bit. So maybe we can get our shit together quickly, come together, and then by the time they stop stumbling, we maybe have like a place to punch from, or at least like get the fuck out the ring before we die like Apollo Creed.
I think it's more doom and gloom. I
You say
would say
what?
that. I think it's more doom and gloom. I actually low key do. I actually a little bit more cynical than you are. I would hope that at least what you're saying would be some type of truth, and that's a very optimistic, very positive look. But
It's very sweet.
the very pessimistic side of me says no. It's going to be a rallying cry for Black people to look and see how many of their fellow skin folk asleep and ain't gonna wake up, and they need to make a move for themselves and with the ones that are also awake.
So you
Yeah.
saying some niggas gonna run to the White House, some niggas gonna run to the outhouse.
Stupid.
I mean, it is what it is,
They're gonna be running, just not together.
pretty much.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Since when have
how
we
do
been
we get?
in agreement, like on anything? Like when we've had a solid front on any like one stable
There-
topic.
There's always a Sheriff David Clark. There's always a why can't you think his name now? Clarence Thomas. There's always a Herman Cain and Ben Carson and hell, what's his name? What's that black Juan Williams that be on Fox News? That nigga did Eyes on the Prize.
That was a great one.
I was so tired of that movie in school.
What? You said you were tired of that movie in school?
Either way, I agree.
Blue
I
For
don't know how many
once.
people have seen Eyes on the Prize.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, Eyes on the Prize was something that I saw on TV as a like a video box to buy, right? But I knew very few people who actually had that set. My grandparents got it for me, and I watched it mostly because I was coaxed. You should watch this. They sat me down. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how many people have really seen that in the sense that they understood what it was all about that they were doing. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because like Eyes on the Prize was the first time that I was able to sit down and look at the civil rights movement as a strategy. It wasn't just people being mad and marching the streets. It
You
was
know
the fact
what?
that they had
I forget our age difference. My Eyes on the Prize movie was completely different. It was like a cartoon, and it was
what?
Martin Luther King as a little boy, and he would go back in time.
Yeah,
That's
that was the kids version.
yeah,
What?
that's what I watched.
There's a
That's
kids
what I'm talking.
version.
Yeah.
You've seen the
Mm.
real version, Gino. The ones me and you both had to watch.
Yeah,
You're
I
older
didn't see
than
no
the kids
kids version.
version.
There was a kids
Well,
version?
Because
I
we're
was a
older.
kid. I
Yeah,
was in
they created the kids
elementary. What are
version
they gonna
after
put
us.
on
No,
fucking
they forced our
Fox?
elementary asses to watch
Eyes
the
on
real.
prize.
It's because
Yes.
y'all old ass niggas. That's why.
Nah, man, that was first of all, I feel like I feel like that explains a lot. First of all, in this because one group of us saw the
The
real
realness.
thing happen. The other
And
group of
then
us
Good
saw
for you.
cartoon Martin Luther King.
blue
I
pill.
was 10 years old. My
I feel
bad for
like I
not
gotta go watch the
requesting the real
cartoon
one.
version before we could really have a conversation about this because I need to understand the programming. I need to understand the difference in the programming.
It's gonna annoy you. It's gonna bore you. I mean, it was a cute message, but it was just like I feel like there's so much more. I just kept feeling like there was so much more to this that they're not really telling us.
Because I cried so much watching that. Man, I cried through the whole thing.
Can you guys name 10 influential black people in history that are not music, entertainers, or athletes?
Can you?
Yeah.
I,
But I'm asking
I,
you guys, like
I
personally. I'm
can't.
like actually personally, not like, oh, these are people that I can name because of whatever. I'm talking about like personally help
I
shape you.
absolutely can.
When you
I
first
absolutely
asked this
can.
question, I started thinking about people in my life, like I didn't get what you were like what you were trying to, because usually when you ask a question, there's like a
So you have a preconceived notion of me already that seems pretty negative because you're in a better place. Okay, continue.
I'm gonna let
I'm just going
Mr. Green
Ida
answer this question because I'm not
and
interested.
I'm just Ida, Angela, Harriet, uh,
He said I was just gonna
uh,
start naming.
uh, WEB, Thurgood, Frederick,
W.E.B.
and
Du
that's
Bois.
old people. I could go to Fred Hampton. I can go to Bobby. I can go outside the revolutionary process as well. We could go to
Bobby who?
fucking
Wait, Bobby Brown?
huh? Nah,
Bobby
Bobby Hemmett.
Brown?
Not
I
Bobby Hemmett.
just
What's my dude's name? Bobby shit. Geronimo Pratt. Um, the Minister of Defense. Hang it, because I'm mixing up his last name right now with Bobby Hemmett, who's a fucking uh, but I could do that too if you want to say that because he's been pretty influential in the coal scene, but that's a completely different place. We're going someplace different. I've named more than five, so y'all can start naming folks.
uh I can't name nobody because I don't really have no black kid. Not just playing.
Oh,
Off top of my head, let's see. Thurgood, Huey, Malcolm, uh
Seal, Bobby Seal.
yeah, you know I got some heavyweights. Nina Simone, James Baldwin.
You just
Uh
said Nina Simone
oh
was
yeah, I guess
entertaining.
she's I was gonna say I guess she has to be an entertainer, but James Baldwin, uh Langston. Will we consider him an entertainer or no?
He's a poet, but did he do performance poetry? Because if not, I'm gonna say no.
I don't know. I'll
I don't
remove
know
him
if
because
you're
I'll remove him. I should be able to still name people. But
It's like Khalil Gibran was not an entertainer. He was he was a poet. He was he was inspired. It was about inspiration. Even though music is inspirational,
I could
I
only
don't
think
know.
of two right now:
Oh, okay.
Chinua Achebe and Chimamanda Ngozi. Do your Googles.
no,
I know
cool.
who Chinua Achebe.
He made me think of
I
Bobby
know you are
Seale.
Negro.
Huh?
Gino made me think of Bobby Seale.
Yeah, Bobby
Um,
Seale. That's what I was trying to say. Nah,
oh,
Chinua
for
Achebe.
real?
Who the other one? I'm gonna have to look up. You're gonna have to send me the spelling of that because you pronounce that and
Yeah,
I
you got
don't.
to post that in the group. Yeah, come on, you can't just say shit like that. Expect
My
people to go,
ignorance.
oh yeah, we're gonna Google that.
Not, I
I
can't
really need for
expect
that.
you,
That's why I'm hanging
not
out.
people.
I hang out. I hang out. I try to hang out with people to learn different languages so I can understand because I don't. And I'm
Mr.
smart.
I've learned a different language and I'm cool on that edit. That's cool.
Yeah, you're good, so it's no point. I won't waste my time.
Posting it in
Yeah,
the
but
group so I can look it up.
You just said I'm good. Your
That's not.
words.
That's not. He wasn't talking about that. Anyway,
Yes,
things
he
do fall
was.
apart.
Not that part. As soon as I said, do your Googles, you said, I'm good.
Who?
What?
Yeah, you wouldn't
Huh?
listen. Okay, now we don't. Now we can't.
It wasn't me. I said I was gonna go do it because I wanted. I
Yeah,
knew
we
who
know
she.
it's never you. We know it's never you. Shush. I'm talking about him.
She hates me.
Anyway, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Welcome to the Eating Podcast. My name is you, Mr. You. This is Mr. Him.
Y'all are really funny.
Miss Thang.
Y'all are so
Y'all,
funny. Like
you've excluded
hilarious.
yourself.
No, I'm just giving you guys props because you're so funny.
See, I feel like our listeners gonna be like, these guys ain't funny at all. They all gonna be. I feel like our fan base is gonna like have factions.
I don't
I
do
feel like
fans.
all the Hillary Banks type females.
All Hillary Banks.
Hillary Clinton is what
I
he
think
said.
I think you said the right thing.
Same difference.
You think Hillary breaks what? That's clear shot at me, but okay. I think if I had a
Oh,
penis, he would be happier. His disposition would be better, but it's not gonna happen. So yeah,
Oh,
speaking of
don't think
which,
of no comeback. Just be quiet. Go
we
ahead, Mr.
I don't
Green.
even think of no comeback. What do you mean? You said if you had a penis, I don't. I mean, that's just said. Oh, there's no comeback needed. You stated the
all right. So
claim.
like, I know we have
I
come
don't
to
even
the
need you to
point in the
speak.
podcast. We should probably start presenting solutions because that's kind of what we do here. We don't. We speak. We
I got a
argue.
solution.
We,
Kill yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say that.
mm.
I
I'm just
mean,
kidding. It was just funny. I couldn't help it. I had to say it.
how does she really feel? No, I'm just.
So we are because our point is to have mature, open, honest, objective, and sometimes subjective perspectives, but also provide solutions to the answers to the questions that that we pose. Are a lot of things that we could easily focus on in our society and our lives that are negative, but truly, we always have the opportunity to create greater things in the midst of our circumstances, in the midst of what it is that we experience on a day to day. So this is our opportunity to exercise our creative abilities and come up with some solutions to some of these issues. Now, I got to be
I'll
honest with you.
start.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, you have to be honest with this. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Of course you
I
will.
don't know. I don't know. You said you'll start, and I'm gonna respect that because I just assumed it was my turn, and I was just gonna start talking. So go ahead. I wasn't even gonna say nothing. It wasn't gonna mean nothing.
Accountability. Always have accountability. I know Mr. Green says this all the time, and I would like to reiterate. Okay, when things happen, 'cause things will always happen, especially negative things. It's not them. It's not her or hers. It is you. Always take responsibility for what you do and your actions and your thoughts. And have a nice day. That's what I'd have to say.
Or him, or hymns, hers or hymns, so that we can make sure everybody is
Oh
covered.
yes, I forgot. And them. And them.
Uh, so
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't know if there is any real solution to people burning uh, hats that say "Let's make America great again" on them, because the entire process is so simple. If there was a different group of individuals burning make a, "Make America Great Again" hats, there would be such a ridiculous uproar in the world and from our place that I don't even know. It's just, oh my goodness. I feel like we're living in a reality TV show if you continue to pay attention to what's happening.
We in the last season.
Whew, boy. 6 seasons in a movie? No.
Grand
I
finale.
uh I think the solution to the protests is we really need to start realize we need to have real protest. Like, it's so funny to me that we want to get out in the street with signs. We don't want to stop watching football. We want to throw rocks, and we want to like be mad and cuss people out on Twitter, but we don't want to shop and buy black. It's amazing to me. Like, we have to make the decision that a protest is not eyes on the prize. That was for the time. Times have changed. We need to be organized. We need to be able to do things together. And if not if you believe these things, just make a personal decision. If you believe that it's wrong, just make a personal decision to say you're not participating in anything that is deplorable to you. I don't think that's hard. Really? Really? This guy. Who's playing that?
What are you talking about?
Damn sure
James?
ain't me.
Uh, anyway,
Oh, my bad.
um, as far as black leadership is concerned, really didn't put my 2 cents in. Don't have at it. Um, one of the things that I feel about black leadership is that, you know, back in the day we had this glorious perspective of what leadership was because it's been framed for us. And I mean for us, meaning the people who did not live through civil rights, that are living in a post quote unquote racial society, a post civil rights era. You know, when our heroes and our leaders were painted in front of us, they were painted in front of us in a specific light. And we then look towards those things. You know, even those who did live through it, the entities, especially the leaders that died in the struggle, you know, they were elevated to such a height that it's almost like you can really see what they look like no more. You know, Martin Luther King became this, you know, Jesus-like entity who wasn't a man. So, you know, if he had, you know, issues with his wife, then what he stood for no longer, what he did no longer meant as much, or something like that. So you couldn't talk about the fact that Martin Luther King had some infidelity issues. He was a human. That's a part of his process. You know what I mean? And they making an ivory stone out of the man instead of realizing that he was one piece to an entire puzzle of a train of thought that was leading us out of the darkness, you know, and that's Malcolm X and other historical figures, entertainers and the like, that help us to create the thought process within ourselves that allow us to have an inner revolution. You know what I mean? So my solution to black leaders is let's stop looking for black leaders and just become black leaders. Like, do it yourself. I'd rather have a situation where there's so many Indians wanting to be chiefs, but we at least we got enough chiefs that must moving in the right direction instead of all these Indians looking for chiefs and have no idea where they're going. This makes no sense to me in that sense and in that process. So to me it's easy. You know, Dr. Justin, like just to mention a name, yeah, one of the few influential black leaders today that I've had the pleasure of meeting. Um, Shook his hand and listened to his lecture. He's a man. He's flawed, but his process, his genius is undeniable. His cause is undeniable. If nothing else, if you don't like his humanity, but you agree with his cause, then dedicate your life to doing something that's going to further the ideal that you agree on. So then you can have the ground or the premise to be able to check it through. You know what I mean? Like, look, this is what we finna do together. And if you know something, you got to be able to be in the position that you desire to try to criticize, and that's with anybody. That's with Boyce Watkins. That's Sean King. Any of that, you got to make the decision to stand up yourself. You know what I mean, to get something done. So like when Marcus is saying some of us gonna run to the outhouse, some of us gonna run to the White House, some of us gonna run to the wilderness. I ain't gonna be running nowhere. I'm in the wilderness, set up in a motherfucking oasis, ready for y'all to figure out what's popping. So the people who can find a way can get there. That's what leadership is about. It's about creating something for yourself, I feel like. that other people can follow. You know, so yeah, solutions.
Is it on me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. uh, to completely expand, or maybe not expand, but to completely be a separate topic of how I view a solution to the lack of enthusiasm of black leadership is to, as I said before, I think have the wisdom to recognize those who are asleep and those who aren't, and those who want to be saved and those who don't, and expand our energy better and more efficiently into those who do, and energize them and teach them how to be leaders, teach them how to follow, teach them how to lead. I mean, most great leaders have learned how to follow. Um, I do believe that most great leaders teach other people how to be leaders. Um, and I also view leadership as something that it's a boldness. It's a certain there's a certain rogueness to it, but also a certain compassion. Leaders have compassion for their followers or their subjects or the other people who are there that are inferior to them in almost every capacity. Whereas, I've always explained, there's people who are rogue who just do what they do, but both require that boldness to stand in front, to take the initial action, to take action when there isn't a clear direction. Um, so in a lot of ways, if we have a bunch of people being leaders, there'll be a bunch of people taking action. But hopefully they're all moving in somewhat of a similar type direction because a lot of times it is a lot of these people who think they're woke or who think they're knowledgeable or who think they're doing something are just really being counterproductive. I mean, to some people, Sheriff Clark is a leader because he's in the public eye, and he's one of the most counterproductive things we have. So is Floyd Mayweather to a degree. So is Steve Harvey. It's just their ability to be out there, to be out front, and say the things they say, and have people listen to them and follow them, and they validate white people's feelings and they pacify black people's feelings, and in a sense suppress those who are actually trying to lead and get us to get somewhere where we have either our own or something closer to equality. I don't knock either people's fight for both. But yeah, the solution I think is just gaining that wisdom into who you give your energy to.
I was both insightful, thought provoking, and heartfelt. Let this nigga. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And as always, stay black. Stay every day. I don't know how I'm closing out the podcast. I'm working on it. Don't hate. All right, y'all. So, appreciate you for listening. And we will see you, or you will hear us and see us next time. Peace.
Uh,
So dang, I gotta turn
uh-huh.
around. That was poetic at the end, man. Ooh, that beat. Ashley, you still there? What happened?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up? What's up? You
What do
not
you
paying
mean?
attention no more? What you doing?
What? You didn't say that. You just closed it out. I'm confused.
I did close it out. I closed it out to
Hmm.
the podcast. So now this is the end of the podcast. And now that we finished the show, what do you guys think about the show? You want to listen to it back?
You can send it to me, but
I am going to send it to you.
I have to do things.
Oh, okay. I feel you. All right.
I have time
Well, we
though. I still have
appreciate you.
time to discuss.
Oh, yeah. So here's the deal. Um, the stop the podcast first. The broadcast first. All right, so we want to try to meet up 2 times a week. That way we
How
can actually
many?
discuss 2 times. I know
It's
Sundays
still
days that
live.
You said what?
It says live in the upper right hand corner.
I'm about to turn it off.
That means we're still on YouTube, right?